Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, we have more breaking news about the Germanwings flight 9525. We have been told now there has been 3 Americans on board, but what's really significant is what Heidi found out is who one of those Americans are. Let me just say we were first told when flight 9525, Germanwings flight 9525, when it crashed, that there were people from Spain, Turkey, and Germany, and that was the 3 nations. We have now found out there were 15 nations, including 3 British, 3 Americans now. We were first told 2 Americans, now we got a 3rd, and 2 Iranian journalists. But I'm very concerned about, I kept saying to you guys, who was on the plane? Somebody's on that plane that of great significance. Why? Because there's no way, I've never heard ever of a world leader going to a plane crash, going to a crash site the day after a crash, especially a plane that's in the French Alps in a very difficult place to get to, dangerous even to get to. And 3 world leaders show up. The president of Spain, the president of France, Angela Merkel, of the chancellor of Germany. Why did these 3 world leaders get there the very next day? What was so important? I mean, look, they're concerned about their citizens, but there's 15 nations who had people on there. Where was the Turks? But let me tell you about the one of the Americans. Okay, 2 Americans were on the list. We're just now finding that out today. Heidi finds out that one of them is a mother and her daughter. The mother worked, her name was Yvonne Selke, S-E-L-K-E, Yvonne Selke of Nokesville, Virginia, a longtime, highly regarded employee of Bose Allen Hamilton in Washington, D.C., and her grown daughter was also with her. Her name was not released. Now, Selke performed work under a contractor with the National Geoparticle Intelligence Agency. That's the National Geoparticle Intelligence Agency, the Pentagon Satellite Mapping Office, according to a person close to the family. The person spoke on condition of anonymity because this person was not authorized to release the information to reporters. Friends and co-workers of Selke's have circulated the photograph of her showing that she was smiling, she was a nice person. But here's the key thing. The agency she worked for, they scour the globe. They're the eyes and ears of the CIA. And they literally track every nation's warships, submarines, tanks, missile launchers, silos, nuclear facilities, the ins and outs of everything everyone is doing. The Russians, they got a close eye on the Russians, on everybody. And so this woman is and she's a high ranking. This is a very, very important person. Now, you remember when the Malaysian flight 370 disappeared off the face of the earth, 20 people were on that flight who worked for Freescales Unlimited, Austin, Texas, who made all the semiconductors for the Defense Department of all 4 of our major military branches. Definitely, those 20 people had a lot of intellectual property. So did this lady. And what was she doing? She was in Barcelona, Spain, headed for Germany. But what was she doing? What was her issue? And now, just an hour ago, we find out there's a 3rd American on there. We don't know if it's a male, a female. We don't know their name. We don't know who they work for. Wait till we find this out. And by the way, folks, whoever heard of a plane, it didn't take 8 minutes for it to come down. It took 18, according to a report we just received earlier this afternoon. It took the flight 18 minutes to come down. And oh, by the way, there was this crash site. There's no explosion, no fire. Okay? Which means it must have broke apart just before it hit the French Alps. And it must have been very low on fuel by the time it got here. But during this entire 18-minute descent, no distress signals, no calls, nobody saying we got a problem, mayday, 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 nothing. All right, now I talked to Mike from around the world about this, and I asked him, I said, is it possible that the CERN could have had something to do with this? And it's a very interesting 10-minute discussion we had live on my live broadcast. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually give you a link to that broadcast. I'm also going to do another video in which I will play that 10-minute interview with him talking about, could CERN have taken down this plane? Could CERN have fried all the instruments on this plane? The plane crashed at 199 miles from the CERN. What have we learned from the CERN? Are you concerned? They say the CERN can create a burn in the atmosphere, the ozone. And he tells us some of the information from that is quite extraordinary. So, folks, there's a lot of questions. This thing smells cover up. And oh, by the way, they found the first black box. They said it was useless. It won't work. They now found a second black box, and they're saying it's missing a microchip. What? They say they're not sure they get anything out of it either. I mean, there's just so many mysteries. And who shot down Malaysian Flight 17 over Ukraine? Another mystery. How many mysteries? How many plane crashes? What's going on? Are you serious? I'll be right back with more information. My next video will be the interview with Mike from around the world. It's very powerful on the plane crash and the CERN. I'll be right back.